Hey guys, my name is Heaven, and today we're going to be talking about the Fierce People, aka the Yanomamo Indians. And the Fierce People, they live in southern Venezuela. The Yanomamo population is small, but it's one of the biggest uncivilized tribes still in South America. And many of the villages have not been contacted by outsiders yet. In the article, The Fierce People, Napoleon Chagnon, sorry if I get that wrong, talks about his stay living with the Yanomamo people, and he stayed for 19 months. When he went there, he had a complete culture shock because one, he did not speak their language, and it was hot, he was sweating, there was gnats everywhere, he was getting bitten up, and yeah, it was just horrible for him. He did not enjoy it at all. While he was there, he learned that aggression is a part of their culture, and he didn't understand that. Some of the things that they practice is wife beating. They beat their wives. They beat their wives. Some of the things that he witnessed while being there was them wife beating, which is a part of their culture. Wife beating, raiding other tribes, murdering men, dueling, and other things like that. There was a lot of aggression, and he honestly wasn't feeling it. He did not like it. He felt like these people were nasty. Like he really felt like those people were nasty. He was saying things like that everything smelled, it was disgusting, and he said after a while his stuff started smelling like that, and he was like, he wasn't feeling it at all. He did not like it. When Napoleon described them, he described them as nasty, tall, filthy, and they were naked from what he saw. Also, when Napoleon got there, they had wads of tobacco under their lip and in their mouth. I guess that's what they like to do. You know, people smoke cigarettes. They like to have tobacco in their mouth, you know, common for them. And like I said, he was dripping with sweat. He did not like that. There was gnats all around. He was getting bitten all over him, and they were nasty. And I honestly don't fault him for seeing that. Like, if you're from here, America, and let's be real, we are kind of privileged, and you go from taking showers, having toilets, having running water, and just having soap and everything. They probably have soap, I don't know, but I'm just saying that he went from that to living out in the forest, living in the nowhere. You know, he's not from this place, so he had to have someone come help him to translate, because like I said, he did not speak their language. So he went over there and was just like, this stinks, you know, this sucks. He was like, I don't understand why I switched from this career to this career. He said that. He was like, I don't know why I did this. This is horrible. I don't know why he did it either. Out of the three major theories, I say this is functionalism, because based on my definition, functionalism is a social science theory that states that every feature of society, including the institutions, roles, and norms, has a purpose and is necessary for the society's long-term existence. And I think this relates to the Fierce People, because in the time that he was there, they were raiding, like, first of all, 7 of their women were kidnapped from a different tribe, and they got 5 of the, this is immediately when he first got there, and they got 5 of those women back, and that tribe was mad. So when him and his partner, not his partner, but the guy that brought him over there, when they went to visit the tribe, they were cautious of them and examining them, because they weren't sure that they weren't from the other tribe that took their women, you know. So they were like, we're gonna be cautious, because if even though they took from us first, we took them back, so they might try to be, you know, they might try to come back and get their lick back, basically. So they're doing what they need to survive over there. Obviously it's normal for them to raid other tribes, take, steal, kill, whatever, but here that's not normal. So for them, that's how they survive, but for us it's different. So I say that's functionalism. Also, this relates to, if you want to find a story kind of similar, because in my eyes, this reminded me of Native Americans. Like, you know, when we first came to America, there's these people who are weird and doing these disgusting things, you know, and we're not used to it. I'm not saying he's trying to colonize them, but when you went over there, like, you know, that's how the Native Americans was in our eyes, or the people back then, you know. So there's this movie on Prime Video. I think it used to be on Netflix, but it's called, also, I watched this when I was really young. And I don't really know if I should have been watching this, but I watched it with my parents. But it's called Apocalypto, and it was made in 2007, which I was in kindergarten in 2009, because that's like the year Michael Jackson died. So I was like really young, but I probably watched it a couple years later. But anyway, there's that movie, and it's kind of like similar. Like these natives, they're in their world, and they get. Let me just read it. It's on the screen, so I'm about to just tell you exactly so I don't get it wrong. But it tells a story of a pre-Columbian Central America. It tells a story set in pre-Columbian Central America with the Mayan Empire in decline. Villagers who survive a savage attack are taken by their captors through the jungle to the central Mayan city. I might be butchering that name, the Mayan or Mayan or whatever, but that's basically like the same thing here. For us, we're living in the modern world, but for them, they're stuck, you know, like let's be real, they're stuck back then where they're still raiding people, kidnapping people, killing people, and doing all that. But that's just their life. So I think that relates to that movie, because that's what they do there, and that's what they do in the movie, and that's also what the Yanomamo people are doing in their world. In conclusion, I say that I think that he had a right to feel the way he felt, because, you know, it's a culture shock. He's not going to be used to that. If you're living one way for your whole life, you're not just going to go somewhere else and be like, okay, this is completely normal, this is fine, I'm used to it. So of course he's going to feel like this is nasty, this is weird. But of course he stayed there for 9 months, so he learned something, and he obviously got accustomed to it because he stayed for so long. If I got there, I would have immediately left. I would have not stayed there that whole time, because I cannot live like that. And he said that let me read the passage from here. Let me pull it straight from here. Hold on, let me pull it. Also, directly from the passage, it says, "Then the stench of the decaying vegetation and the filth struck me, and I almost got sick." Like, of course, it probably, no offense to them, but it probably smelled like dead bodies. You know, it probably smelled like just must and disgustingness. Like, they don't have deodorant and everything like that. So you know that stuff was nasty. So it also said, he said that he was going through examinations, like I said before, about because they were raided and their woman was taken and they're fighting with this different group. So it says here that the Indians would blow their nose into their hands, flick as much of the mucus off that would separate in a snap of the wrist, wipe the residue into their hair, and then carefully examine my face, arms, legs, hair, and the contents of my pockets. Bro, if I went there too, I'm not happy. I'm not. And he was also reluctant taking food and accept the food from others, because let's be real, if you are taking mucus, flicking it with your hand with a flick of the wrist, and then trying to serve me food, I'm not taking that food. But yeah, that's my conclusion. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good day. Have a good night. Bye.